Ideas. David Cameron made no bones about wanting to emulate the US-style primaries in his hunt for a London mayoral candidate and an A-list for all new would-be MPs. It all sounded quite exciting at first, that hunt indeed for the X factor. But months on, there are no high flyers in sight for mayor, and the A-listers have been berated for being too lazy to even apply for seats. So has David Cameron lost his powers of persuasion? In a moment, we'll speak to Nick Ferrari, the bookies' favourite to be Tory candidate for mayor, and to Stephen Norris, their candidate last time round. First is David Grossman.
David Cameron is trying to rebuild his party. He's got a slogan, built to last. But as anyone who's had the builders in could have warned him, things don't always go according to plan.
The trouble with Central Office is that there are very few people there with any political experience. There are too many youngsters there, if I may say so, who haven't got the knowledge and the experience of politics. And sometimes they just don't live in the real world.
The centrepiece of this reform was the A-list. The aim was to get more women and people from ethnic minorities contesting winnable.
The Conservative Party set themselves a target of recruiting 57% of women in the first tranche of selecting seats. Actually, only just over 30% of the people selected have been women. That's better than what the Conservative Party has at the moment, but it's fallen well short of Central Office's hopes and expectations.
We had to look, think and act like a different organisation. We have to show that.
David Cameron has been taking his built-to-last roadshow round the country. One problem, though, seems to be that A-listers aren't quite so keen to traipse round pitching for just any old seat. Many appear to be waiting for safe seats to come up. Conservative Central Office has sent out a letter warning that not applying for enough seats might mean removal from the list. But some believe there's another problem, that local parties are rebelling.
They have become demoralised because they've seen their choice restricted. And what should happen, I mean, everybody's agreed that we need more women candidates and we need more ethnic minorities. But the way to tackle that is not by restricting choice, it's actually by opening up the whole process and allowing anybody to go onto the list who's a Conservative Party member. And Central Office's sole function is to weed out the mad, the bad and the sad. And that way we'll get more people coming forward, we'll have a greater choice, and it will then be up to the membership to determine their candidates. To allow a couple of people in Conservative Central Office arrogantly to decide who it is that the British people want as a candidate is just nonsense.
But even if the Conservative Party is struggling to cope with the new technology of candidate selection, they are promising to stick with the A-list.
There are currently 17 Conservative women members of Parliament, and we've got 13 women now selected in winnable seats. So that'll make the numbers look very different. I think what has always happened, and I went through the selection procedure as did everybody else who's a member of Parliament, is that there's always been the people that you know are going to get seats. And the A-list is no different. And of course what we're now doing now that the first tranche is over is expanding that list to give more people an opportunity for the further seats that are coming up.
But the Conservatives have another problem, selecting a candidate for London Mayor. The party is desperate to beat Ken Livingstone at the next election. And the plan, get lots of well-known characters to slug it out in a US-style primary for all Londoners to vote on. But when the deadline passed last Friday, they didn't have any big names. So they've extended the deadline for another 6 months. One of the 6 people who did put themselves forward has now withdrawn.
I'm disappointed, clearly. I would have liked to have gone forward. I would have liked to have tried to become the Mayor of London. So I'm disappointed, but I can understand that there's no point in just digging your heels in. If you can amend a process, even if you have to amend it halfway through to make it better, then it's right to do so. There's no point in digging your heels in just for the sake of it.
So, who are the big names the Tories are hoping to get to run? Well, rumour has it that the former Met Commissioner, Sir John Stevens, is one, and the London DJ Nick Ferrari is another.
We're trying to do something new and different. And what we've done is say, let's have more time for people to think about whether they want to take on that challenge.
I think written on the grave of this Labour government will be incompetence. On almost every front, Labour is failing to deliver basic competence in government. One of the few things we as an opposition can do to counteract that, to counterbalance that, is to show that we're competent in how we run our own affairs. Unfortunately, neither the A-list nor the mayoral primary have been handled competently by the party.
David Cameron is finding that it's not enough to simply will the outcome. Building anything is hard work.
Well, let's talk to Steve Norris and Nick Ferrari now. Nick, you're exactly the type of person David Cameron would like to lure into his nest. Has he won you over?
No, he hasn't. They're trying to do something out of West Wing. It's more like South Park, and they can't find someone to kill Kenny, can they? Ken Livingstone. And he's there for the beating, there's no question about it. They got it wrong, they went too soon. Unfortunately, they were, until recently, totally unmovable on that. It's a good idea in its germination. It's been very badly executed.
What's the good idea? To get the big names?
The good idea is to throw it open to everybody, because I don't know why, and people living outside of London don't have enough experience, but those living here do, and you know this yourself. Livingstone has some mad policies. He is quite mad, bad, and at times quite sad, so he is totally beatable. It's a good idea to get somebody who's got the charisma and the character, like Steve did last time. I voted for Steve last time, and he would have done a damn fine job, but he didn't get it. That's why it's a good idea to go for a big name. But to expect somebody to give up working for 2 years, effectively, for an unpaid beauty parade is utter cobblers.
These reforms are not working, are they, either on the mayoral candidate list or on the A-list?
Oh, I think